Friday morning, everyone. I'm WSAZ's Kimberly Keggy. Thanks for joining us here in WSAZ Plus Studios. For your morning headlines, we are following some big stories. A shooting out of Huntington that killed 2 people and injured another. And then also a story out of Summersville, West Virginia. That's where 3 people were found dead inside a home. But I do want to go ahead and talk about looks like somebody changed that super. Well, there we go. I do want to go ahead and talk about the fact that it is also a first alert weather day. And so we want to go ahead and bring in Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Snyder with us. Nicholas, thanks for joining us this morning. We know you guys are super busy. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of what we're expecting to see over the next couple of hours?
Yeah, gusty winds are going to be the main concern. They're not going to be as strong as what we saw last night in some of those storms, which is good news, but we're still talking about very gusty winds this afternoon that could cause some power flickers. I want to go through what happened overnight last night and yesterday evening. So if we could pull up the weather graphics here.
Sure thing.
I want to start with the flood warning that still remains in place. We have southern Wayne County, southern Lincoln County, western Boone, northern Logan, and northern Mingo counties in a flood warning. You see that green outline right here, this kind of green circle. Parts of Lawrence County, Kentucky are under that flood warning as well. The heaviest rain had fallen basically just to the south of Madison, just to the north of Logan, and in northern Mingo County, where we did see about 2 inches of rain over the last 12 hours. And this led to multiple flooding reports, including one of a main road to the southeast of Madison, State Route 85, underwater this morning. So, again, if you ever come into contact with a flooded roadway, the old saying is turn around, don't drown. You never want to drive through a flooded roadway. That could be not a great thing to happen there. Here's all the storm reports compiled from what we saw yesterday, last night, and what we did see this morning. Plenty of hail reports, plenty of wind reports. The green would indicate flooding. There is one wind report I want to bring up in particular. This is in northeastern Jackson County. Occurred at about 12:58 a.m. Eastern Time. This was in the tornado-warned storm, and you may be wondering, what tornado-warned storm? Did we have a tornado-warned storm yesterday? Actually, we did. Late last night into early this morning, Chief Meteorologist Tony Cavalier was on with us earlier on when that was issued. This was a tornadic storm. Did not necessarily produce a tornado. We don't know yet if it did produce a tornado, but this one report that's coming out of northeastern Jackson County, West Virginia, of a barn roof that was torn off could indicate that it's something that will be worth watching. I'm sure the National Weather Service in Charleston is going to take a closer look at that in the coming days and maybe even in the coming hours to see if that was actually caused by a tornado. They have been in contact with us. We've been asking them if they're going to survey that. They're unsure at this time if they are going to survey it, but that storm report in northeastern Jackson County is definitely interesting, especially when you had a tornado warning for this part of the area last night and you had a barn roof that was torn off at the same time that tornado warning was in place. So we'll see what ultimately they decide to do with that, but as of now, we're just going to keep a close eye on that report. Let's talk about for the rest of the day today how strong the winds are going to get. You're talking up to about 30 or 40 mile-an-hour wind gusts headed our way. What that can do is blow the trash can around into the neighbor's yard if it's an empty trash can. I think really things get going later in the morning and into the afternoon, let's say around 11 a.m., lasting all the way through about 7, 8, or 9 p.m., to be expected for those strongest gusts, and things will start to calm down once we head into the overnight. After today, we're looking at a return to winter, Kimberly, unfortunately. So we are talking about chances of snow showers moving back in Sunday into Monday.
Okay.
There's been a lot of buzz on social media. Everyone is showing these super crazy model runs of 30 inches of snow falling in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., places like that. Chances of that actually happening are very, very low. And some of the models do indicate that, yes, we could have a major snow accumulation, but most of the models and more of the trustworthy models that we typically look at are indicating that we're not going to see a whole lot, but at least some snow accumulation for Monday morning. So we have gone ahead and put out a first alert weather day for Monday morning because that morning commute could get tricky. But notice the numbers. Under an inch for Charleston, for Huntington. A couple inches for Charleston, but under an inch for Huntington, under an inch for much of eastern Kentucky, under an inch for much of southern Ohio. Charleston east is where you could pick up maybe an inch or two. And into the mountains, that's where you're talking about seeing totals reaching above 6 inches up toward, let's say, the Elkins area, up toward the Richwood area, places like that. But for the vast majority of the lowlands, we're not going to be seeing anything that's going to impact us too much in terms of snow amounts. What will impact us, though, is that morning commute. Again, when that snow's falling, we could be dealing with lowered visibility, slick road conditions, and maybe even some school delays by Monday morning. So that's why we do have that first alert weather day that is in place by Monday morning. Meanwhile, the end of next week, Kimberly, it's back into the 50s.
Nice.
So
you know how I like those temps.
It's just a quick, very quick taste of winter coming our way for the end of the weekend and into the beginning of next week before we get back to what we've been seeing really over the last week, which has been nicer conditions.
Yes, it has certainly been such a treat the last couple of days to have those warmer temperatures. You don't have to wear the thick jacket outside.
Right.
Nicholas, when we're talking about Monday in particular, just kind of for people planning ahead, when they're thinking about that morning commute, you mentioned some snowfall.
Yep.
Are we likely to see that fall during that morning rush hour, or is it going to fall overnight, and so you may wake up to the snow dusting on the ground?
Well, both. I think there's going to be pockets of these squalls. We've seen these squalls all winter. It's been a common theme this winter. Dylan made a post on Twitter, actually, funnily enough. He said the weather word of this winter has been snow squall. So we're going to see these snow squalls kind of hit or miss. You'll get a brief snow shower, and then it'll fade away. And that's going to happen pretty much all night Sunday night, lasting all the way into Monday morning and really through the day on Monday. So we'll get these little coatings of snow. Sun will come out, that coating will melt away, and then we'll see more coatings of snow. And again, in the mountains where the snow is a bit more consistent, that's where your inches are going to come. So out toward Richwood, 3 to 6 inches. And even in some of the higher elevation terrain in the lowlands out toward Charleston, once you get closer to those mountains, we could see maybe a couple of inches of snow, up to an inch or two in Charleston. Same thing for places like Clay, for places like Sutton, Spencer, those general areas, which are a little bit higher in elevation compared to the rest of the lowlands. But again, it's not really the amount of snow that's going to get you. It's when it's going to fall, which is during that morning commute and overnight on Sunday night, and how quickly it can fall in some of those snow squalls. You've seen how quickly the visibility can drop in those snow squalls, and that's definitely going to be a possibility during the day on Monday.
Okay, so certainly a word of warning for people who have to travel Sunday night into Monday, also Monday morning for that commute. What would be your word of warning for today's First Alert weather?
Yeah, just batten down the hatches. Find a way to tie up any loose objects in your yard. I know it's been springy for only a couple of weeks, but some of us may have the porch furniture out already, and if you do, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you tie it down so it doesn't blow away in this wind. And the winds are going to get gusty. Again, I've already heard our big tower on top of the building that helps broadcast our signal everywhere. It's shaking from the studio. We can hear that already. So with that already occurring right now, we're expecting those winds to kind of pick up through the afternoon. So anything that's loose in your yard, tie it up, prevent it from blowing around, bird feeders, porch furniture, the trash cans. I brought up that graphic. Kimberly, you said you love that graphic.
I do love that graphic. It makes me giggle every time.
Yeah, it's pretty realistic, though. If you have an empty trash can and if you are able to take it in today, just take it in so it doesn't blow around all the way down the street, essentially, because those winds are going to be blowing, and that's why we do have that First Alert weather day. I also want to mention, too, power hits could be a possibility. Even if you didn't see a strong storm last night, it could be a possibility today. We're seeing these winds over the widespread area, so everyone's going to get some wind, which is unlike what we saw yesterday with those storms kind of hit or miss and scattered. Same thing with last night. Today, different story, widespread. So everyone probably will see maybe at least a flicker of power, if not maybe a few power outages today as well.
All right. Well, Nicholas, we really appreciate you helping us hone in as we plan our weekend. We've made it to Friday. It's hard to believe. Yeah, I know. I want to do one of those ones, too. I think it's been such a treat to have those temperatures this week. But for a lot of us, it's like, oh, gosh, do we really have to go to work today?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the timing, too, with the temperatures coming in on Sunday and how cold it's going to get. But I promise you, it's just a quick taste of winter. It's not going to be a long-term thing. So.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that because you know that I am certainly ready for spring. And I even have some flowers starting to pop up. I got some tulips coming up out of my flower bed. So I am ready for it. But we appreciate you joining us here to give us an update on what we can see over the next couple of days. Thanks so much, Nicholas.
Yeah, and I think everyone after this winter's been ready for spring.
Yes.
So
we've been through the ringer with this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, Nicholas, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you for joining us. And so some of the other big stories that we are following, I want to go ahead because we have a bit of breaking news to tell you about. So as we are tracking this, we have a house fire. This is happening in Boone County. Our crew is at the scene, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up some video for you, as you can tell. So here we go. Let's see. This is actually a house fire. You can tell several apartments and those flames coming out of that home. This is all happening in Boone County. We are told from our crew there that there are several departments in the area, and we don't know an exact location yet. Actually, our crew was nearby, so they're working to get us the details. But check out how intense this video is. You can tell firefighters certainly trying to get things under control. Very active scene there. So we do know that multiple fire departments are on scene there. Madison Police also on scene, trying to assist with some of that traffic control as firefighters work to put out that fire. And so we actually got word of this because our crew is at Fired Up Friday at Scott High School, and they had heard the sirens. And so they went to check it out. Boone County 911 dispatchers just telling us that multiple fire departments are on scene there. You can tell heavy smoke coming from that home. There's no word on whether somebody was inside, but we are working to get some of those details for you. But you can tell just a massive response, and certainly crews having to fight that fire. It's very active, heavy smoke. At one point, those flames were a little bit more concentrated in what appeared to be the roof of the home. And I'm going to see if we can touch base with our crew so they can pan us over to the house there. But you can tell just heavy smoke. Firefighters still working to get this. You even just saw them in that video still trying to pull some of the hoses out of their trucks to be able to get that under control. So very active there. That is a breaking news situation that we are following this morning. We do know the call came in not too long ago, as you can tell. Firefighters really trying to get a handle on things, and you can just see how many first responders are in that area. Certainly a massive response for what they are dealing with in that house fire. So that is one story in particular that we are following this morning. A couple others this morning that really it has been such an active day over the last 24 hours. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up some video for you. Let's see if this goes. Here we go. Okay, so this is in Huntington, West Virginia. We can tell you that's where two people are dead and one was hurt after a shooting. It happened this morning in that area. And so here's what we know from this incident so far. The shooting reported around 2:30 this morning, and that happened near 3.5 Alley at 14th Street. So the Huntington Police Department is asking anyone with information about the incident to call 911, or even you can call their tip line. Right now, details are pretty limited in the sense of this is a really active investigation. Like we said, that shooting happening about 8 hours ago. They said it happened around 2:30 this morning. Huntington Police saying 2 people have died. Another is injured following that incident. We heard from people who lived nearby, or were in that area when it was happening, several gunshots, kind of just a pop, pop, pop. And so that is something that our crews are following up on today. And we are still working to learn details on that. We have our 2 reporters, Addie Smith and Andrew Colgrove, following up on that. As we are trying to learn more, we're also trying to learn more about the 2 people that were killed in that instance. And so that is one big story. Another one that we are following, big breaking news over the last 24 hours. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up some different video for us as we are working for that. So like we said, that incident happening in Huntington, West Virginia, the shooting happening this morning. But in Summersville, West Virginia, that is where we have had reports of 3 people being found dead inside a home. And so that is another big story that we are following today. Let's go ahead and pull up some videos so we can talk about the details of that. And I'm going to refer to my notes here because we just got word that some new details have happened in that shooting, that instance. So this is in Summersville, West Virginia. This is where we can tell you that 3 people were found dead inside a home. This all happened last night. That's when first responders were called to that home. And so you can tell, very active scene there. We have just heard, as Nicholas County 911 says, they received information that 3 individuals with severe head trauma had been found in a home along Ashley Lane in Summersville, West Virginia. When first responders got there, they say all of the individuals were found unconscious and they were unresponsive. It took a pretty big police response as they were trying to navigate and work through the details of this investigation. We know that Summersville police were on scene last night, as well as the West Virginia State Police, helping to work together to lead through that investigation. What we are told is that this was an isolated incident, though. There was no threat to the public. Officers and investigators telling us they have identified the victims as Nancy Lindwell, Don Morrow, and Douglas Morrow. All 3 lived in the home, we're told, by investigators. So that is a story that we are still working to learn the details of. Like we said, that this information just coming to us, police actually just gave us an update about 10, 15 minutes ago. So I appreciate your grace as we are kind of reading through these details. We know that this was a very difficult scene for first responders as they were trying to work through the details. When you think about the magnitude of that, 3 people being found dead inside a home. And so investigators tell us it was an isolated incident. They do believe this was a murder-suicide. They're also saying that a gun was used in the instance, and so we are still working to go through the details of there. But that is another big story that we are following this morning. So some big breaking news. You heard we had that house fire over in Boone County that is very active as first responders are trying to get a handle on that as well. Huntington police just 8 hours into their investigation where 2 people were dead and were killed by gunshots, and then 1 person was hurt in a shooting. That happened this morning. And then you also have the big investigation where there were 3 people that died in a house in Summersville, West Virginia. We're just told by investigators literally moments ago that they believed that this was a murder-suicide. So those are some big stories that we are following this morning. There's one other in particular, and I want to pull up some video to talk about this one as well, because it's a quite bizarre situation when you're looking at what we've seen. And so as we go ahead and get this reset for you, let's go and see if I can get that video. There we go. So this is all happening in Waverly, Ohio. And so that is where the Pike County General Health District says they were made aware. You see the geese in the video flying up there? Well, they were made aware of multiple geese being found dead at Lake White in Waverly. They say about close to 20 dead geese on the ice were visible. A person who lives just right by there said they had never seen anything like this. And so the county health district up there says they are in contact with the Ohio Division of Wildlife and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, as they are now collecting samples to determine what caused the amount of bird deaths in that area. So they're trying to track down and really determine if the cause is avian flu or another illness. They say simply being near the lake or just walking around it does pose a very low risk for people who live nearby. We know the weather's been so nice, so they said, you know what? if you're going to be in that area, it's okay. However, do not touch the dead geese. That's what they are asking people. They say, you know what, make sure that you keep your children, even pets, away from those dead birds as they are trying to investigate what exactly is causing that. So a couple of big stories, like we said, that we are following today. We certainly appreciate you joining us here for your morning headlines as well as the weather. Don't forget, it is a first alert weather day. And as the Olympics are winding down, we still are preempted for today. So your midday and the 4 o'clock show, First Look at 4, will be here on WSAZ Plus. We'll bring you all the latest updates on those big stories that I mentioned that we are following, trying to learn new details, and we'll have those for you here at noon and very shortly. So thanks for joining us here. Have a great Friday, everybody.